moment in Beck is a weird kind of sensory experience because of how true to life it is. You can smell the cold basements under the bar where the music plays. You can feel the sweat of a dead summer day when the cicadas chirp, and it's all about presentation. The art and animation here is extremely minimal, but it just feels so visceral. I get the impression some people might think Beck is boring, but I was never bored for a second watching it. I love watching all the characters, from the huge jerks to the, well, slightly less huge jerks in this story, and quickly recognize Maho in particular as sort of a super idealized version of myself. I mean, I'm eerily like her, but I only wish I was as cool. I originally picked Beck up during this odd little phase where I wasn't enough of an otaku to recognize my own tastes and what to buy versus what to just try, but far enough into the fandom where I wanted to buy DVDs, and I did, definitely more than I should have. I got some stuff that wasn't all that great as a consequence, but Beck was a happy coincidence, and it only gets better every time I see it. Oddly enough, the main focus of Beck was something I didn't understand. The total adulation of rock music and what I have been told is a total gearhead fantasy. I was just more in love with Beck's portrayal of being a teenager, and only sought out better understanding of the guitar worship much later. Now that I have more appreciation for that aspect too, Beck strikes me as more fantastic than ever before, and a well-deserved spot at number 20.
The world suffused with sound.
Number 19, Razafon, a saga of the resonance between two worlds, brought about when our hero, Ayato, finds a mech-like golem and escapes from his time into another one, just outside the city he's known all his life. War and trippy imagery ensues. Now, I have more trouble talking about Razafon than the other titles on my list because it's the only anime here that I have only seen once. To put it lightly, though, once was enough. And I'm not sure where it would rank if I watched it again, as I plan to, eventually. I do remember exactly why I watched it, though. After making known my rather fervent distaste for Evangelion, an epic that I can respect in many ways and still recommend every diehard otaku watch, but I personally do have an intense hatred of and always will, I was told by approximately 11 billion people to watch Razafon, either because they thought I would find it to be an improvement, or because they thought it had alarmed me to criticize Eva after seeing its lesser ripoff, quote-unquote. To my surprise, my reaction was neither of these extremes. Razafon is partially inspired by Evangelion, at least in that I don't think it would have been made without Eva as a breaking point. But it is still absolutely its own thing, and addresses its own issues. I won't go into details, but a simple look at the vast difference between the protagonists and their struggles should tell you Razafon is not trying to answer Evangelion, but just come up with its own answers about some really profound issues, and it definitely succeeds. Like another entry much higher on my list, Razafon is a mature fantasy with a lot of symbolism and analog it holds close to its chest, making it both a joy and an incredible frustration to analyze. The sci-fi aspect is actually the weakest element here. I'm pretty sure most of it makes zero sense, but it's that consistency of metaphor that holds it together, to say nothing of the incredibly complex characters. They're not all horribly screwed up like Ava's cast, but they're just as layered and intricate, able to carry entire scenes with 1 or 2 lines of dialogue and still say volumes more than some entire series ever get across. It can still be heavy-handed, and those parts don't necessarily work. They didn't work in Evangelion either, but it's almost more beautiful for its flaws, and I'm dying to revisit it soon. For now, it sits comfortably at my number 19.
Where every day will return us to arms of the ever eternal.